turned into
a rivalry.
A rivalry that it used to be.
It sure has. I don't know. Is this as good a run, 3-year runs UT Martin's ever had? I know they've had years, but they're usually spikes. You know, I don't think they've ever, and it's a credit to Jason Simpson. I mean, they've had 3 years here where they can play with anybody. So we're over the name. This is not your grandfather's UT Martin. You know, we know what we've experienced, which is 3 years of really quality football. And you know, we feel the need for redemption, to be honest with you.
Coach, we're going to bring Josh Kane in, or expecting him. Just talk a little about Josh.
Well, Josh is one of those guys that you become a fan coaching him. You know, somebody needs to tell the spray paint story and get it right. I think I've told it wrong a couple of times. I don't know. All I can remember, he was out there at practice, and his jersey had a number painted on it. And next thing I know, they're calling him spray paint, and that's down to paint. He's certainly been and at the same time, he was a guy that we put all the rookies on in one scrimmage, and it's supposed to be an easy day for the first team against, and he lines up at free safety, makes every goddamn tackle in that jersey. So besides having that jersey on, I think he makes 13 solo tackles that day, and he's a true freshman. It took me a while to even learn what his name was. But then you add to that I had a faculty member sitting in the stands the other day, and I walked over there, and it was the head of the computer science, and he said, I just came to watch. I said, well, you watching because of Josh? And he said, because we don't have many computer science majors. He said, well, he's the #1 student we got. That's pretty distinguishing. He's already got his degree. He's working on his master's in computer science. I've been told by a couple of individuals that they represent companies that have offered him jobs. That's pretty distinguishing. You know, he spends weeks out of the year in Tanzania doing mission work. The other players respond to him. I mean, he puts on that helmet. He's just a guy. I've seen him do some things out there, and against Florida State, I mean, he made some plays that set himself apart, I thought. I don't know that his statistics have, you got to have an opportunity. But I think for the years over with, he's statistically going to be one of the leaders on this football team too. So, there's sort of the book on him. On top of that, he's just a classy guy that smiles a lot and everybody likes.
How much do you pay attention to the outside stuff that either all your kids do or that he does? You know what I mean? I don't mean, you see him largely on the football team.
Right.
Well,
when it finds me, I don't go looking for it, but I have casual conversations sometimes with people that have a different perspective than our internal one, and that's when I get it. And so there's probably a lot I don't know about players on this team. It takes a while before I was talking to radio guy down in Louisiana, and he was telling me that there was a movie about Corey Freeman's grandfather. And I get off the phone and I turn to somebody on the side. I said, "Is Corey Eddie, Corey Freeman's granddad?" And, "Oh yeah." Well, I'm the only one that don't know that, I guess. Even though our SID, I'm sure, has written it down and put it right there in front of me. I haven't read it. So, but my point is, sometimes I don't get it first. I may be the last one to get it. I may have been the last one with Josh Kane, to get this information. But here lately, I've been a little bit more focused, so I'm picking up on who he is.
But what I mean, he's all the outside stuff he does. I mean, he gets on the good works team for
Yeah.
the outside stuff.
Yeah, and that's the other
Talk
thing,
about
yeah.
the mission trip, the
That's right.
habitat. I mean, all that kind of
22
stuff.
players on that AFCA, American Football Coach Association Good Works team. He's on it.
Now, you
I'll give you another thing. We had votes for captains 2 years, not this spring, but spring a year ago. He got more votes than anybody as a rising junior. And so I don't throw him out there as a captain, but I probably could have. This year we do it a little bit different.
He's the third guy you've had that's been on that. Good
I've
guy
had
team.
2 of them. One of them was leaving when I got here. He's the second one.
Kirkland and
I didn't have Kirkland was here. I came in that winter of his senior year. I didn't coach Kirkland.
What are their qualities of those
Oh,
guys?
yeah.
Are they the
Same
the
stuff.
thread that's through all of them?
Yeah, but we had Kirk, and you know, these are guys who just are people, and they just want to help. You know, they're people that if they see a need to help somebody, they do not stand there and look at it. They go. They're proactive, empathetic. They're made that way, and they're particularly, I think, that way with the young people. I know Chris Kirk was that way. He was constantly in some organization that was working with underprivileged kids. So, I mean, that certainly was probably programmed to these young people when they were growing up. You know, we have an internal program where we try to cultivate that through different areas of our program, but you know, some people you don't have to cultivate it. I mean, they're going to do it whether you have that internally or not. But Josh is a one-of-a-kind player. Now, all the years, I don't know that I've ever quite had a Josh Kane. I mean, really, when you put it all together, his productivity as a player, his academics, and then his citizenship, I don't know that I've quite had one that, and he was a walk-on, which means he had to prove himself every day. So